visited Eramis in her cell. We've been talking a little. I think we're making progress. She's been more responsive lately. You've been out there protecting our people. Even she has to admit that much. I mentioned that I've been working with Mithrax to track down information about tonics. Eramis said she knew a couple of older Eliksni with knowledge of such things. If we could track down an apothecary, it would speed up my research considerably. In the meantime, Eramis also spoke of a Salvation Enclave that might need our help. I sent Crow the coordinates. I might have left out the part where Eramis gave them to us. I know, but I think we can trust Eramis to look after the interests of her own people. I'm sure Crow will see that soon enough. Trust me on this?
Varric sees suspicion in the Slayer Baron. Can they trust Varric? Perhaps he still desires to be Kell of Kells, yes? After all, many died to make it so. It is true that Varric wanted power, not for himself, but for all Eliksni, to build a new home filled with peace. But Varric lied to himself and his people. He was misled by darkness, and he lost the way of his house. And many terrors were born of his failure. Now Varric is humbled. He remembers he is not a Kell. He is a scribe. House judgment is not the way of fighting or ruling. It is the way of keeping history, promoting justice, teaching hatchlings. So Varric we'll train Eido. And together, scribes will undo the many wrongs of Verix the Loyal.
Verix would approve, I think. Providing me with ample data for my research. In return, I wish to share something with you. A recording. Do not ask how I obtained it.
When do you think my people's ether reserves run out? At the rate your guardians destroy our servitors, it can't be long.
Eramis?
Have you seen the effects of ether starvation? The way our carapace flakes, the way it peels away to expose raw muscle. It is a living death. Agony in unsleeping rot.
I've seen it. In the Eliksni who refused to kneel to House Salvation and fled across Sol for their lives. You willingly marched your own kind to their deaths in service of a lie. That's why you're here. It's what you have the power to prevent. We've both made mistakes we can't take back. I killed Cade. I created Fikrul. But I can make it better. I can own those choices and do better by the people I hurt. You can too. Help us find the defectors of House Salvation. They can integrate into the House of Light. They have a chance for a fresh start. Right here, right now.
There is no future for me. But that does not mean there must be no future for my people. I will not rob them of that. I will tell you.
Eramis has blood on her hands, and so many ask for blood in return. But her death would not undo any of it. I shared this in the hopes you may see that too. That one life spared could spare 1,000 more. Father may call that naive, but I remember the old words. A docked arm cannot share the weight. Guardian, your battles against the Revenants to save Eliksni captives from a fate worse than death. It's like one of our old fables. I've learned so much about our lost homeworld lately. About how ether flowed through all the plants and animals there, not just the Eliksni. But for every drop I learn, there's a whole tank full that was forgotten. That's why it's so important that we learn from the few survivors, like Mithrax and Eramis. I know you and Eramis Kell share animosity, as my father would say. But she's more than a leader, or a fighter, or a criminal. She's a rare link to the secrets of old Reese. I encourage you to put aside the past, and let Eramis Kell help us. Or we risk making her the last of the Eliksni.
Tell me, Guardian, is this a gratifying sight or a frustrating one? You strike me as someone who appreciates finality. Not so your Hunter Vanguard, it seems. I am grateful for one thing. No Salvation captains share my cell. This remains a private humiliation. Eido claims you will defend both our houses against Fikrul's beasts. So, here it is, Slayer Baron. I know of another Salvation outpost. The Eliksni there cut communications shortly before my incarceration. If any yet live, it seems likely they too are under threat. I once believed anything would be preferable to accepting your assistance. I have Fikrul to thank for illuminating me. I hope to demonstrate my gratitude in person before the end.